What's up? How are we doing, my lovelies? Welcome back to my channel, Boomy Reactions. Thank you for watching. Now, today, guys, we're going to be catching back up with Laurence once again from his channel, Lost in the Pond. And we're going to be looking at 10 things that America has that Britain doesn't. So, I've already come across quite a few things, not in my personal travels, because I'm still yet to take a trip to the USA. And I'm financing pending. Saving all my pennies. We'll get there one day. Right, okay. But from what I see on videos, let's think. There's loads of things that you guys have. Is he going to say red cups? Yes, we all love the red cups. But we see them on all these films and TV series, and we don't have red cups. We only have the piddling little white naff ones. So sometimes they're see-through, transparent. Refills. Refills. Oh my gosh, that's got to come up, hasn't it? Pumpkin pie. Pecan pie. Ooh, American apple pie. just generally nicer food. Barbecue. There's so many things. There's loads of things. Although when we say barbecue over here, we do have barbecue, but it's not what you guys call barbecue. It's how would I describe a British summer barbecue? A charcoal grill. Most of the time it's charcoal. Cremated sausages. Burgers. Store-bought burgers. Ooh, a good one will have a kebab. A meat kebab with chicken and peppers and onions on them. I do like them. Yeah, vastly different. Okay, so yes, as we've established, it's already going to be a lot of things that America has that the UK doesn't. But what are the prominent things that Laurence has noticed that America has that the UK doesn't? Hey, no. Where's his glasses gone? Laurence, what have you done with your red spectacles? It just doesn't look like Laurence without his lovely red glasses. Ooh, it feels weird. I think this is an older video. Anyway, guys, I've just babbled on for a good solid 2 minutes. Let's crack on with the video. If you're enjoying these reactions as well, my lovelies, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Thank you so much. If you're interested, I have a Buy Me a Coffee account. That link is over here. And if you would like to help support the channel any further, I have a Patreon account. And if you fancy checking that out, that link is in the description below. Whoa, just doesn't look like Laurence to me. He needs the glasses.
Hello, I'm Laurence, and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond. And one of those memos pertains to stuff, things, you know, things that one country might have that the other does not have. And today I'm going to specifically look at 10 things that America has that Britain doesn't. And
have you guys, have you picked up on Laurence's accent? I think this every time I watch one of his videos, because he hasn't got a typical Londoner accent. He's not a southerner, so he doesn't say bath or stuff. You know, he says he's a northerner. He's one of us. He's a stuff bath. You know nothing, Jon Snow. But obviously not that strong. I don't know where Laurence is actually from, but he has got quite a well-spoken and neutral accent. But he's definitely a northerner.
And 10 is the number of the day. Not only is it the number attached to this very listicle, but it's also tied to the fact that I've lived in the United States for the entirety of this decade that we are now reaching the very end of. And, you know, the fact that I haven't lived in Britain for a decade does mean I run the risk of including things on this list that have since been adopted by Britain, and I was just away and missed it. So,
Laurence, I think because you've been away from the UK for a good 10 years now, I think he's going to forget things. The British way of life is becoming a very distant memory. Just want to say, Laurence, I love your cardi. Lovely cardigan.
I think I was careful enough to do the requisite research before doing this video. So, for instance, 10 years ago, I think I might have included, you know, Mexican food or proms or Black Friday or vaping shops. But I've come to find through both my own experiences of visiting earlier this year and also just from second-hand accounts that these things have actually exploded in Britain. Yeah. Not exploded. I mean, in some cases, they have a presence. And so those things are not included. But I will admit that some of the things on my list do have an isolated presence in the United Kingdom. They're just not used or seen or, you know, experienced on a grand scale like they are here in the United States. And
Yeah, okay. So that handful of things that is obviously a little bit different. We copy everything you do. For our viewers in the US, we copy. We catch on to the trends. We see the things, you know, very American culture on the TV and in films, and I think we watch it and we grow up watching it and we think, well, I really like how they do that. I really love it. Why don't we do it? Why was it boring? Like Thanksgiving was always a big one growing up. I saw this holiday on so much TV, and it'd get to the end of the year and you're thinking, so when's Thanksgiving? Well, we don't celebrate it. So it never came. Very, very sad. You know, we always look forward to the tradition that we never have of holding hands and sitting around the table and saying what you're thankful for and having all that delicious food and then doing it again at Christmas. But no, we don't have Thanksgiving. But because we grow up watching it, we kind of assume that we do. It's a weird generation that I'm from, I think. And following generations, because we're so interconnected now, aren't we? We're a smaller world. But we're so heavily influenced by American culture. Then when you grow up watching it, you assume it's your culture. And you have this unusual kind of familiarity and this kind of closeness with your culture that we're not part of, but we've grown up with it. It's very, very bizarre. But I'd say a lot of British people do grow up having this fondness for American culture because it feels familiar. So familiar to us. That's the best way you can describe it, guys. But anyway, crack on with the video.
So without further ado, let's take a look at 10 things that America has that Britain does not.
We have Black Friday now. I like
Yes,
Black Friday.
wooden houses. So growing up, I watched a lot of American films, The Goonies, for example, that depicted these wooden houses, and they always seemed really sort of romantic to me. I don't know why. We don't really have them in Britain, or at least we don't have them en masse, shall we say. Most houses that you'll find in Britain are made of brick, rock solid, right? But the structural integrity of these American houses, these wooden houses, I am led to believe, is still good. It's nothing to worry about. And you might be wondering, well, why does America have so many of these wooden houses? Well, firstly, they're cheap. Cheaper than brick houses by quite a way. And also, there's quite a lot of wood just in the United States. You almost can't see the wood for the trees. That's not how that phrase works.
But I knew exactly what you meant. That is an odd one, isn't it? Yeah, so all of our houses in the UK are brick built. I'm quite confident I'll say all of them are. Now, you might see Tudor houses, those black and white wooden kind of beams and everything all over the front. They're still brick on the inside. So our houses retain heat very, very well. And obviously moisture isn't too much of a problem with our brick houses. Let's face it, the climate here is wet. There's lots of rain. It's quite often, it's just cold. And then, and traditionally, until recently, we don't really have an issue with the heat. So we'd prefer our houses to kind of trap as much heat in as possible to keep us warmer throughout the colder months. So yes, our houses are traditionally brick. However, in recent years, when we started having heat waves, it becomes very much a problem. And we bake. We bake in our clay brick houses. Sweat to death. But yes, they look very charming, the wooden houses.
So they've been a mainstay of American housing since the 19th century. Now, that's not to say that, of course, America doesn't itself have brick houses. In fact, I kind of live in one myself. New York and Chicago, it's known for its brownstone apartments, but also you'll see brickery here and there. Yes. But I think for the most part, people here do live in houses that have a wooden exterior. I did when I first moved here, in fact, and I have to say, it was fine. It was perfectly warm, well insulated. The odd spider got in, sometimes very odd spider, but we'll get onto that later. But it was just like any other house, really. I think my concern would have been that it would have, collapsed on me, or that rain would get in, or things like that. But no, of course, it's very. These houses are sturdy, as far as I can tell, and they're good. Now, whether the house is made of brick, wood, or miscellaneous, it's likely to contain the following. Air
Aircon,
conditioning. Where
yes!
would we be without it? Well, for the first 26 years of my life, I was without it.
We need it.
I usually just slept by the window, which was cracked open, and let in that sort of mild British air. That did the job for the most part. In the vast majority of the United States, you cannot do that, especially when the summer hits. In this
One of the problems with doing this, we find every summertime as well, guys, is that wherever you live in the UK, you are never that far away from a pub, ever, even in your villages. In fact, maybe if you lived on a farm, but you're never really that far away from a pub. And we all have quite built up areas. So when in summertime you have no choice but to sleep with the windows open and your bedroom happens to be the one facing the street, guess what you can hear? Come closing time, last orders, when the pubs close, yes, you can hear all those rowdy pub goers going home, waking you up at 1 a.m. because it's summer and everyone wants to sip a drink in a beer garden. Yes, it's a bit of a pain in the bum. We could definitely do with some form of aircon.
Country, temperatures reach sometimes as high as 40 degrees C or over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. If you don't have air conditioning, you will die.
We had
or
nearly
at the very
40
least
recently.
feel horrific. Now, again, in Britain, you will find exceptions to this rule, particularly in public places, but for the vast majority of people, air conditioning is not a thing in their homes. And thankfully, neither is the following. According to the internet, and we all believe that, right? There's never been a recorded case in Britain of somebody dying from a spider bite.
No.
That is not true, of course, in the United States. There are deadly spiders here, and when I first moved here, that was something that I was quite wary of. I'm not really scared of spiders, but when something like that is alien to you and you move to one of the places where they are housed, it starts to play on your mind.
Yeah, but I think you're okay in Chicago. It's just an assumption that I'm making, Laurence, but I think you'd be fine in Chicago. Am I right? What's your most dangerous spider? You get tarantulas, don't you? But they're not the worst of a bad bunch. I'm not overly scared of spiders, but don't get me wrong, I don't want one crawling up my arm or anything. No, thank you.
And I get the impression this is true for quite a lot of British people. So I want to dispel some myths by uttering the following sentence. I, Laurence Brown, have never seen a deadly spider outside of Indianapolis Zoo. It was supposed to be there as part of the attraction. And that's because they're quite rare. Okay, so the two spiders that you've really got to be wary of, but not that wary of, are black widows and brown recluses. I lived in Indianapolis. Brown recluses there are in fact indigenous to Indianapolis and some other surrounding states and the South. But here's a few things that you need to know about brown recluses. Firstly, they're recluses. You'll rarely ever see them. Again, I haven't. Secondly, they're not particularly vicious. They're not actually aggressive spiders. They're really only going to attack you if you prod them. And if you do that, then you deserve to be bitten. And as for black widows, you're probably never going to see one. But if you do, make sure it's not female. The female of the species is more deadly than the male. Because they're the only ones that can kill you. If I've not seen a deadly spider in 10 years, then you'll be fine, right? That's not how you're going to die. You're going to die of heart disease. I mean, that's statistically likely. So, Merry Christmas! But speaking of things that are deadly, here's something else Britain doesn't have.
Moving swiftly
now again, I do want to reiterate that tornadoes absolutely exist in Britain, but there have been no recorded cases of fatalities.
It's a weird one. So, I've only been made aware of this relatively recently. We do have them. I think on average, is it about 13? Did I make that number up? We do have them in the UK, but I don't know what it is. I think we only really label things a storm more recently. We're just so used to kind of windy, wet weather. We just expect it. But more recently, if it's beyond certain miles per hour, they give like weather warnings now, and we label them a storm with a name, which is, quite nice. It's quite endearing, calling a storm something. But yeah, maybe it's high winds, but with that usage of saying, there was a storm over the weekend. This is the damage that was caused in the storm, but we don't really know it as a tornado. So maybe we've just always had like a small number of them, but we just kind of think of them as, gale force winds, and they've been quite nasty overnight, and and this has happened. Oh, didn't know that.
I do remember there was a close shave in Birmingham in the 2000s. They're usually really weak. I remember one turning up at the beach where I lived near, and the extent of the damage was a fallen deck chair. We don't have anything to worry about in Britain when it comes to tornadoes, but in America, of course, that ain't true. Now, again, when it comes to America, heart disease is the thing that you most need to be worried about. You're not very likely to die of a tornado, but that doesn't mean that people don't. Nature can be very, very punishing, and if you live in the Great Plains, or you live in the Midwest, or you live in the South, or other pockets of the United States, you may well encounter a tornado. But as with deadly spiders, I have to report to you today that in my 11 years of living in the United States, I've yet to encounter a tornado. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to one day, but remember that the United States is very large. So when these tornadoes turn up, they don't affect the whole state that they're showing up in. It's just a very small area of that state at any given time. Now, I did once encounter a tornado warning in which the wife and I and the two cats that we had at the time had to huddle together in the tiniest bathroom you've ever seen. So it turned out to be a false alarm, and all we got there was bad cramps. So all I'm saying is, don't worry. Come to the United States, move to the United States. Do not be worried about tornadoes. Unless you see one, then run.
Oh, it's funny. Everyone who's, like, all British people that move over to America, that's all they've got to say to everyone back home. Come and move over here. It's amazing. Laurence is on it as well. Come and move over to the US. Don't have to tell me twice. Tornadoes are a bit of a weird one. But like Laurence said, sometimes it's the damage from the tornado. Does that make sense? So fallen trees causing damage, cars, or on houses. Deserts,
what? Britain
obviously.
doesn't have deserts. Outrage! You were
It's a
reading
desert.
too fast. It said deserts.
Desert.
Yes, that's right. With the exception of the Dungeness Headland in Kent, Britain does not boast any deserts, and even that one is debatable. But the United States, specifically the western portion of the United States, is quite known for its deserts, with Mojave and the like doing their thing. And that again just speaks to the vast terrain of the United States that I didn't even touch on in the video that I did previously about that very thing. So yes, you have large mountains here, you have the flatlands of the Great Plains, you have swamps, something else I didn't touch on, but deserts are a key feature of the West. You don't really want to find yourself, tornadoes or otherwise, stranded in one of those without a water bottle. So basically, in America, don't mess with Mother Nature. That's the key. I say that, though, as somebody that's not visited any of the deserts yet here in the United States. I'd love to, and you can safely. You just have to know the rules first. Let me know in the comments below if you live in any of the United States deserts or near them, and shed some light on what that's like, because for people like me from Britain, it's an alien concept.
It is an alien concept, but if you think about it, geographically, we're not really latitudinally, whatever the word is, but position on the globe, we're not likely to really have any desert land, and because we're such a teeny little island, no desert land whatsoever.
One thing you won't find in a desert is our next entry. Actually, you might. They're everywhere. Walmart. This is definitely not a sponsored video. One clarification here is you will find Walmart-owned stores in the United Kingdom, such as Asda. What you won't find is a supermarket with its own zip code, because they are that big here in the United States. They're huge, in fact. Now, yes, of course, Britain may have some exceptions to this rule. They might have some supersized supermarkets here and there, but America has them everywhere, specifically when we are talking about Walmart. These things are huge, and they stock absolutely everything you can think of, including car tires. You don't even have to go to the automobile shop or whatever that's called. And for me, it's overwhelming. I mean, I don't like walking into stores at the best of times just because it makes me dizzy. But Walmart especially so. So I steer clear of that place as best I can and just go to Aldi.
Oh, you guys have Aldi as well. So we have a pretty big, a very big Asda down the road from here. So it's owned by Walmart, and it's always interesting because you see people visiting Walmarts in these videos and such, and it's got similar layouts and everything. Now, I have noticed in one of these aisles in this Asda, Mega Asda, Super Asda, it's a big supermarket for us anyway. one of the aisles is dedicated very much to car accessories, and it pretty much sells everything car-wise, but just short of a car tire. Not quite there yet, but it does pretty much sell everything else. So quite similar. That's as close as we're going to get to Walmart, I think.
Not knocking anybody that does shop at Walmart, by the way. You've obviously just got more stamina
I'd shop at
than I
Walmart.
do. Sometimes next to Walmart and any of the retail outlets that you'll find in the United States, you might encounter one of these.
Neon
Actually,
sign.
one of these might be an understatement. One of the prevailing memories that I have of my first day in the United States, at least living here, was the blanket of neon signs everywhere. Indianapolis looked like Vegas by comparison. It was fun, you know, it was certainly different to anything I'd ever known. I would almost say there was a novelty value to it. Neon signs in Britain usually indicate something quite seedy, or somewhere you shouldn't take your mum. And so
Yes,
given that, it was actually
that's a
quite
fair thing
jarring,
to
still
say.
is to this day, to see the word bail bonds written in neon lights. Initially, I thought it was an S&M reference, so just be careful where you enter. For
As soon as he said it, I get it, yeah. Yeah, neon signs, sorry, Laurence, that's a very unfortunate place for me to pause that video. Yeah, it's normally a bit of a faddy thing that like bars, they've adopted like a neon sign and they look very flashy and very quirky. On the high street, you're not likely to see one. You might see one indicating there's like a tattoo parlor, tattoo studio, maybe. But yeah, they are a little bit more of a kind of hipster thing that you're going to find in bars.
the most part, you'll be fine. But I assure you, you don't have to have any concerns about entering our next place.
Arby's.
All right, so
Arby's!
after 11 years of living in the United States, the only reason I can see that you wouldn't like Arby's is if you have some weird commitment to McDonald's, or if you're a vegetarian/vegan, then I can see it. But Arby's
No, I am not.
is without question my favourite fast food restaurant. I don't eat it every day, because see previous comment about heart disease, but I do eat it every other day. That's a lie. We don't have enough of them here in Chicago. Whenever I go back to Indiana to visit, I make sure I get Arby's. Their curly fries are amazing. Again, not a sponsored video, don't get that idea, including you, Arby's.
curly fries.
But if you're on the road and you really do have to succumb to fast food, I think this is your best bet. Get the roast beef sandwich. No, get the double roast beef sandwich. You will not regret it. Your stomach lining might, but you won't. The taste is exquisite. I should point out, by the way, that if there are any pedants from Britain who have a fantastic memory, Arby's did have a very tiny presence in Britain in the early 2000s, but the last Arby's closed there in 2001 and it hasn't been back since. One thing's for sure, though, Arby's and
Short-lived.
many outlets like it have the following.
Oh, I'm going to have to check out some Arby's videos. I don't really know what's on the menu, guys. It's burgers. Burgers, curly fries. I love curly fries. So there was one or two Arby's that set up in the UK, and then went out of business within a year. That's very unfortunate. Can they try again? Just give it another go. I think you'll have a bigger fan base now. I would 100% turn up to an Arby's with my Chick-fil-A. I know, I'm sorry, that's probably offended a great many people, but I bloody love it. I take it to McDonald's. We don't go often, don't worry. But if we do, I have to take my Chick-fil-A sauce. I know, I'm an absolute oddball, but I love it.
Anybody that's followed my channel now for a while will know that I have feelings on free refills. In fact, I did an entire video about it. And while they are all the rage here, and of course you'll find them in most fast food outlets and other places, there is one clarification I have to make here. You will find free refills as an option in places like Subway in the United Kingdom. So in some capacity, America has exported it, but it is by
The odd
no means
place.
as universal in the United Kingdom as it is
Yeah.
in the United States. And as I've said before, I think the temptation of knowing that I could get a free cup of pop on top of the one that I've already had is what made me give up pop in the first place. So I do have that to thank America for. Of course, if you are American and you have the willpower to stay away from the free refills, more power to you. Same goes for our final entry.
I mean, there's sugar-free ones to find, right? Yes, a handful of places do have them in the UK. Not very many. I think if you were to visit, you'd still struggle to find one. They're few and far between. But even when they do, they will strategically make the the OG, the first drink, like a £5. So it's going to cost you like £5 anyway. So then they don't really lose any money, or they don't lose an awful lot of money on the free refills. Don't miss a trick, do they? Greedy.
Oh, pancakes. Pancakes
Actual
are
pancakes.
special in Britain. We absolutely have them. That's not what I'm saying here.
We love
what
them.
I am saying is we usually devote one day a year to eating them, and most of us won't eat them at any other time.
Yeah, but they're
so
like
when I
crepes.
was a kid growing up, I had a lot of fun on Pancake Day, or Shrove Tuesday, attempting to make pancakes with my mum. She did most of the work, especially after I nearly burned down the house.
So yes, it's nearly Pancake Day. It's not many of us actually call it Shrove Tuesday. It's nearly Pancake Day. It's about it's about 5 days away. It's always on my calendar. It is Pancake Day, and we make an obscene amount of crepes. They're probably more similar to a crepe. Not much in common with an American pancake. The greatest danger that you have on Pancake Day isn't burning the house down. I don't know if you've ever seen the Peppa Pig episode. You know, the kids, they all love Peppa Pig. Daddy Pig flips the pancake and it gets stuck to the ceiling. Never seen that? That's the greatest danger. Or flipping the pancake, because you've got to flip it. You have to flip it. Or as my dad likes to say and joke every year, toss the pancake. Yes, that's what you call it. But then his running joke every single year is, ha ha ha, you're the best tosser I know. Yeah, every year. I love a good dad joke. It does still make me chuckle. But yeah, it's when you flip the pancake, it's that it falls on the floor, and then the dog scrans it. It happens. Or you get it stuck to the ceiling. Yeah.
But in America, you can eat them any day of the year. Just head down to IHOP, that's International House of Pancakes, and get your pancake filling
pancakes
right there. But you don't even have to do that. I mean, you will find pancakes on the menu at a lot of these sort of, cafes and all manner of other places. They are very, very prevalent. So when you talk about Pancake Day in America, actually, IHOP has its own sort of Pancake Day on or around Shrove Tuesday. But most people don't take it seriously. It's because every day is Pancake Day. That's it for this episode. Don't forget to let me know in the comments below how you like your pancakes. Do you mix it with your Arby's roast beef sandwich? Don't do that. And if you've not had the chance, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that my videos don't get lost in the pond. And a big, big shout out to all my patrons who make this channel possible. Without you, none of it would be, from the writing to the research to the tornado shelters. If you would like to become a patron of this channel, you can do so at patreon.com/lostinthepond. All patrons will have access to my secret live stream, and anybody that pledges $5 or more a month will get that, plus my secret podcast and more. Until next time, keep enjoying Vlogmas, and I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching this episode of Lost in the Pond. Don't forget to hit my stupid little face to subscribe, and please share this video with the world. Hit me up on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook, and if you would like to support this channel, please do so at patreon.com/lostinthepond.
I love that. Every day is Pancake Day. Oh. If only. I do admittedly make our pancakes, crepes, far more than once a year. They're too delicious. So the traditional way of having them in the UK, I don't know how you guys have your crepes, or crepes-izettes. We have them, I don't, but traditionally they're had with sugar and lemon. And I think it's the most boring thing in the world. Sorry for our viewers that love your pancakes like that. I am too much of a child to end with I'm not satisfied with lemon juice and sugar. But I don't go crazy. And my sister's favourite is to literally put a Mars bar. I think it was a Mars bar that she put in her last one. And she rolls it in the pancake and just lets it sit there for about 5 minutes, then comes back to it. And then it's all melted into this big goop. And apparently it's amazing. No, not for me. Me and the kids, disgusting or not, we like golden syrup on the inside of it, and then you get your squirty cream, and then you go all on the top of it. Perfection. Oh, lovely, lovely pancake. I can eat about 6 of them on Pancake Day. We have to make a lot. That's the thing. So one normal kind of batch only does about, I don't know, maybe about 10 to 12. You've got to make more. You just do. It's the law. You can't run out of pancakes on pancake day. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching along with me. Take care of yourselves, my lovelies, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.